So I'm thinking back to 1963, actually, which was quite early in your story. And I know at that time, the General Assembly that year passed a resolution inviting Unitarian churches, in light of what they called changing moral standards, to read the book Towards a Quaker View of Sex. And I wondered if you had any thoughts about that book, either from the time or perhaps later. And I know you then later talked to the author of that book as well.
In 1963, I was taking the Inquirer, but I did not go to the annual meetings. I don't think I started going to 65 or even 66. So I have no direct memories of that. But later on, much later on, I had an interesting discussion with David Blamires, who had been part of that early publication. And we compared notes on the histories of our different movements. And there were times when it looked as if the Quakers were ahead, like that early publication. But then some Unitarian congregations started things like Intergroup, and which we'll talk about later perhaps, and started doing same-sex blessings, which the Quakers didn't do till a lot later. And this was purely down to the difference in our organization, that the Quakers have a very tight national structure, and they debate something thoroughly, and when they decide to do something, well, then most of their meetings are willing to do it. With Unitarians, of course, the individual congregation is the unit which makes decisions. So some of our congregations could make decisions early on about being active in the lesbian and gay movement, but many others didn't.